Hey, welcome back to the Shade Tree, and welcome back to the continuation of this 55 Willy's Wagon build. Last time we left off having to pull the gas tank back out because the little sock extension tube thingy fell off the sending unit. So I JB welded it back together. Hopefully it's going to work. We got the tank reinstalled, and we're going to throw some gas in it to see if that fuel pump will pick up fuel this time. So stick around, man. Alright, so before we get rolling, I'll show you some of the behind the scenes stuff that I was able to get finished to keep this thing moving along. We were able to get the exhaust done, and I'll tell you what, it was a tight fit getting it up in there by that gas tank. I mean, there was barely like an eighth of an inch fitting around the gas tank. So I went ahead and because I wrapped the exhaust and some exhaust wrap on both sides the length of the tank. I think it should be okay. The tips turned out pretty good. This one here, she's just a little bit off because I couldn't get it to bend over to match this one. So I'm not going to worry too much about it. I just clamped it on the mufflers. I welded it everywhere else, but I don't like the sound of these mufflers, and eventually we're probably going to take them off and put different ones on. But for now, we're going to leave those on there. I went and started the panel work. I got a couple of roof panels in. I made some templates to fill in the sides there and on this side. Fitment isn't the greatest, but I'll keep working with it, and hopefully we can get it to look halfway decent. Got wired in those two side lights with our overhead dome light, and I got it on a switch here. Put it on a toggle. I think it'll work out for what we need. There'll be two separate panels in here, because in the center of this we're going to put a console for our radio. We're not going to do that this week, but eventually we're going to put a console in there for the radio. So we have to figure out how to run the radio wiring up there. So it's a lot of time consuming stuff that's pretty boring actually. Got the seat frames sanded and primed. We've got the inside window frames sanded, primed, and ready to shoot. I'm going to take them into the outdoor paint booth and shoot them today, with there's threatening rain all day, so we won't be painting. Also, we got to get the flooring in here. Start working on the wood strips and the flooring for the back. I have the door handles that came off. So these are two different door handles to begin with. These are the crank for the windows. They're missing the little round spinny thing. That's part of the wing window, so we're either going to clean this stuff up, paint it, and try to put it back on, or maybe look to get new. I don't know. We do have the window glass on the way. I'm hoping to get that put in by the end of this video. I think without further ado, we should be maybe working on getting this floor in the back here and getting our wood strips on. Alright, we made our pattern out of that construction paper that we had, and transferred it to our template. Got our template cut out. Now let's see how it fits. Well, I guess it don't fit too bad. Might have to trim it here and there a little bit, but I think that'll work. We got to get a transition strip for here. We got the seats coming down in here anyway. The back seat is going to be right here. So we just got to get a transition strip for the back and for here, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do for the sides, and we'll put our wood strips in there. I think we'll be good. I think. We'll find out. Because this is a bed that isn't going to be exposed to the weather, we're going to use pine on this. It's also budget friendly. So we got some premium pine here, and all I'm going to do is use the round off bit on the router, and we're just going to round down the edges. I'm going to try to follow what's already started, and you can barely see. We're just going to follow that pattern that runs all the way up and just follow it all the way over. We're going to stain this probably a dark, like a dark walnut or something, to kind of blend with the whole brown thing we got going on in there. So that's pretty much it. We're just going to fasten this to the bed, get it all, whether we're going to caulk that in on the sides or whatever it is we're going to do, we got to figure that out. And then we're just going to roll some paint on here, some white, over the wheel wells and whatnot. And then once that dries, those wood strips should be ready to go, and we'll get to putting the wood down. After that, we'll be pretty close to buttoning up the interior other than the seats, and I'll show you how we figured out the solution for those seat covers later on in this video, man. Alright, pieces are all routed down. You can see, you get some kind of an idea of what we're shooting for here. Get these lined up right on these lines, and these will be cut in half, of course, so there'll be plenty to go across. That's set and ready to be measured, cut, and put together. I think the next step is to secure this floor to our truck bed. We'll get that done, and then we'll get some paint on it. Alright, so we did a little mock-up before we start staining and painting and all that crap of how we're going to put these in. I want to follow these ribs right here all the way up to the front. Basically, that's what we're going to do. And we're going to edge it off with a piece of this. I got to get some more, obviously, but this in the front and in the back here. Alright, so let me get finalizing some of this stuff, and we'll move on to the next thing. I started a punch list, by the way. We still have the issue with the headlight. Let's see, the headlight dimmer. One light comes on, the other one comes on very, very dimly. Now this is a bad bulb right out of the box, but you know, we can't rule that out, as you know. So I'll just keep adding to this as I go, as I notice things. Alright, we are back at it again today, and I've been busy this morning trying to get the back of this squared away. What I did is, because of the thickness of this, the gaps are so big around the wheel wells, I had to fill them all in with tiger hair and smooth it out, and we hit it with some gloss white, and we're just going to let that dry. Got the walnut stain on our wood, and 2 coats of poly, semi-gloss poly. So I think that's going to look pretty good. So what are we going to do while our paint dries? One thing we do have to do is kick panels. We have to make some templates to make kick panels, so that may be a good use of our time while our paint dries, and we won't disturb that. So let's do it. Alright, well, we got our pattern made for our kick panels, but I'm out of material, so I'm going to have to go down and get some more material to make some more panels. In the meanwhile, what we're going to do is, the rain has held off so far, so we're going to take a chance in shooting some color on our seat frames and our window frames. So wish me luck. Alright, we are out in the garage again on a brand new day. Yesterday we left off painting our seat frames, painting our window frames, or we got paint on them I should say. A paint job it is not. I had troubles with the air sprayer thing you said I use. The aerosol was like half of what it normally is. I don't know. Sad when you have to get used to subpar products on a daily basis, but this is what we're dealing with. Anyway, we did get paint on them, like one coat. I wanted to get like 2 coats on everything, but it just wasn't going to be possible. So what I'm trying to tell you is, it is what it is now. Got our wood stained up, polished, and we got it mocked in there. It don't look too bad. Nothing's fastened yet, it's just kind of laid up in there. I think that's going to work out pretty well for us. I know I said I wasn't going to do it in this video, but in order to finish this roof up, we're going to need to make that center console. So I drew out some rough plans of the basic shape of it. I got some of that poster board, and we're going to make it out of the poster board, and then we're going to do the same thing we did on the 46 Chevy truck. We're going to wrap it in fiberglass. So that seemed to work out pretty well for that, so it should work pretty well for this. So let's do it, man. Alright, once again using the same material, this poster board stuff that we use for the side panels. We're going to put it together with a little hot glue action just to get our basic form built, and then we'll go ahead and fiberglass wrap it, and it'll be good to go. We got our basic form made, but I'll tell you what, I'll never use hot glue again. That just made a big mess, is all that made. We'll stick to the old duct tape from now on. Let's go fit this in the truck and see how we did. Well, it would seem that we have some tweaking to do. Not real crazy about this. It does seem to hang down a little low. And then this was supposed to go up on the top of that light fixture. I guess we kind of screwed that up a little, so I'll have to figure this out. Let me do some trimming and see what I can do. I trimmed the back off so it would fit over the top of that, because eventually this light's going to get mounted inside or on there. This is going to get covered here, and we're just going to come all the way down and just leave an opening for the radio to fit into. This is the radio I'm actually testing fitment on. This is just foam board, so it's not going to be strong enough to hold this up, but I just want to see what we're dealing with. Something like that right there. Obviously it's going to go back farther in. Yeah, it'll be back in there like that. Let me pull that thing out of there and finish it up, and we'll go ahead and measure for our last 2 front panels here, and we'll be looking pretty good here pretty soon. Alright, I think this is our final prototype. I did take a 1/2 inch out of there and drop that down. It looks a lot better, I think. I think that'll work. It ended up costing me like $8 for that piece of construction foam board. And we have fiberglass, so we just have to pick up some resin. I think the whole console is only going to end up costing us maybe like $20. So I think it's money well spent there. Well, she looks a whole lot better than the last time I tried it. I think that one will work. My wife Linda has jumped in to balance out on these Willy seats, man. She's doing a great job too. Check this out. I love watching an expert at work. You gotta check the fitment of it.
Oh my god. Oh, there's no hole.
Looks like a seat cover.
God, I hope so. The corners are much better than the last time. Alright.
Okay, throw it on there, see what we got. It's a lot tighter than the last one too.
Yeah. I mean, it feels better too. Feels better.
Oh yeah, it looks great.
Does it look good?
Yeah.
Looks better than the first couple times.
Yeah.
He really did not leave you a lot of room for...
No, it's good because we're going to pull it tight.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're going to have to... As long as the seams are even, that's really all I've cared about.
Mm-hmm.
With my trusty molding, straight edge, and my little measurements.
That's it. You gotta have.
There we go. Yeah.
It'll look good.
That looks really pretty good.
Give us a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
All right, good job.
Good job.
All right. Looks pretty good with a little chrome trim on the bottom. This here, it's actually a door edge trim, but it fit perfect around the bottom of that tray. So we're gonna run with that. Once again, thank you to my wife Linda for bailing us out. Alright, we're back out here again today. We got a whole lot of things going on, as you know. We have the wife working on the seats, the wood ready to be secured in the bed. We have our overhead console ready to be fiberglassed, and we have our drive shaft out, because yes, fellas, we are going to try to shorten this thing. We're going to get it all cleaned up. We're going to get it measured out. I already know that we have to take 8 inches out of this thing, so we're going to get this mess cleaned up here so we can get that drive shaft on a somewhat level surface. I'm not going to worry about getting it perfect because we're obviously later on we're going to have one made for it, but just to get this thing running and rolling out of this garage, we're going to go ahead and shorten the drive shaft for the first time. So I watched a bunch of videos on YouTube about it. Other than all the other specific tools and specs you need to do this right, we're just going to do a shade tree style drive shaft shortening thing. We will get this thing rolling out of this garage under its own power for the first time. Alright, so we have our reference mark down the center so we can put it back in the right spot when we cut it. We'll be cutting on the inside of these lines, and that's pretty much it, I guess. It looks simple, but the tricky part, I guess, is putting it back together so it isn't all wonky. We're going to have to see what we can do about that. When they tell you this is a shade tree shortening, you can bet. You can bet, man. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so we're ready to do our cut here and here. That dial bore indicator is probably not going to do much for us. We're working in less than ideal conditions. I mean, we're one step up from doing this in the yard, actually. On this bench, it's not really all that level. Sort of is, but not. It's level-ish. And I'm not taking these the yoke off. It's got the plastic in it and all that crap. So we're just going to go ahead and, like I said, we're just going to do this to get this thing moved out of the garage. It's not like we're going to drive around with it. You know, maybe around the block or something, but we're gonna order one from Jegs, the U-welded kind. For now, like I said, for getting this thing out of this garage, we're just gonna cut this, and we're gonna weld it back together the best that we can, straight as we can, just to get this thing out of my garage. There she is. Successfully shortened by 8 inches. Is it perfect? No, not even close. Is it good enough to get this thing out of the garage? Yes, it is. I guess the next step is to see if this thing's going to fit in here. All right, she's in. Drive shaft is installed. We have gas in the gas tank. I don't see anything leaking. Not yet anyway. So let's hit the key and see if this thing's going to pick gas up out of that tank. That looks like it's working. Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. That electric stove is working or not. It's pretty loud. Oil pressure. That can't be right. There ain't but 3 or 4 gallons in that tank. Definitely got some carburetor adjusting to do. But it is picking fuel up out of the tank now, so that's good. We're going to have to do something about muffling because that's tank loud. Here's some noise, we're not sure what it is because it's so loud. Definitely got an exhaust leak, so I think something else going on there too. Well, we're going to have to figure out that exhaust leak thing. It might have, the header might have came loose when I was pulling the pipe in the back. I don't know, I'll figure that out. But she's holding good oil pressure. That gas gauge I don't believe is accurate because there ain't but 3.5 gallons of gas in there, so we're gonna have to check on that. We got our drive shaft in. I've still got to get transmission fluid, so we won't be able to do anything with that today. We got quite a bit accomplished this go around. We got our drive shaft shortened. We got our overhead console made. We got the bed in the back all situated. Got our wood cut, stained, polyed. We solved the fuel delivery problem. So she is picking up out of that tank. That's good. This carburetor needs a lot of work. I'm not so sure that that electric choke is working right. Maybe it is. I don't know. I should have taken the breather off before we started it. But she is still weeping a little bit around that water neck. I don't know. I don't know what to do about that. I take it apart again and try to reseal it again for the 4th time. But it's kind of the way it goes, fellas. My wife has volunteered to do the seat covers for us in her leisure time. And next go around, we're gonna try to solve our carburetor issues. We're gonna get some transmission fluid in this thing and see if she can't move under her own power for the first time ever out of this garage. There's still a lot to be done. We still got panels to make for the roof. We will be fiberglassing our overhead console next time around. Continuing the filler panels for the sides. We started our punch list. There's a lot more things to be added to that now. Now we can add the header leak to that, the fuel sending unit. Still got to get the brakes bled. I have located the fitting I was looking for. The S10 fitting to this reducer fitting to our proportioning valve, from the proportioning valve to this little thing and into the master cylinder. We did not get our window in yet. I haven't even gotten the shipping information for it yet, and it's been almost a week, so I don't know. But next go around will be the windshield, I should say. And we're going to try to fit the windows we have. We're going to clean them up, see if we can't get some kind of universal rubber to put them in with, so we can put our window frames in, and we'll be real close on this thing. The struts that I had bought for another vehicle, we're going to use them as a hood prop. So I got to make fittings that these can screw into to hold this hood up on both sides. We got 2 of them. So that's another punch list issue. So the board ought to be pretty full next week with punch list items alone. So as always, I appreciate you guys watching. Know anybody that might be interested in checking out this build, share the video with them. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And until next time, man, take it easy.